Im Namen des deutschen Solidaritätskomitees für einen freien Iran begrüße ich Sie zu unserer heutigen Veranstaltung im Internationalen Kongresszentrum in Berlin. Ich heiße ganz besonders die Präsidentin Mariam Radjani in Berlin herzlich willkommen. Bevor ich aber der Präsidentin das Wort gebe, wird mein langjähriger Bundestagskollege, der unsere Arbeit ebenfalls von Anfang an sehr tatkräftig unterstützt hat, Leo Dautzenberg, der Präsidentin einen Appell übergeben. Einen Appell, in dem wir humanitären Schutz für Bewohner von Kap Ashraf verlangen. Frau Radjavi ist die vom Nationalen Widerstandsrat Irans gewählte Präsidentin. Sie ist die Stimme des freien Irans. Frau Präsidentin, Sie haben das Wort.
خامنه‌ای برای مهار قیام‌ها به سرکوب اشرف نیاز داشت و در چنین شرایط حساسی حفاظت آنجا به دست عوامل عراقیش افتاد، در حالی که سرکوب اشرف فرمانش از بیت خامنه‌ای آمده و مجریانش نیز اجیر شدگان او هستند. همین حالا در اشرف محاصره شده بیماری شماری از ساکنین به وخامت گراییده. آیا احترام به حاکمیت عراق این است که بگذاریم اکیپ‌های وزارت اطلاعات رژیم آخوندی با 240 بلندگو به شکنجه روانی ساکنان اشرف به طور مستمر ادامه دهند؟ می‌دانید که از دیروز 210 بلندگو به 240 بلندگو افزایش پیدا کرده. جواب این سوال‌ها این است: خیر. اگر عمیق نگاه کنیم، این برچیدن سرکوبگری ملاها در اشرف است که سبب احترام به حاکمیت دولت و ملت عراق می شود. ما ایالات متحده را به ایفای مسئولیت خود در از سرگیری حفاظت اشرف و ملل متحد را به استقرار دائمی هیئتی برای نظارت بر اشرف فرا می‌خوانیم و این وظیفه اتحادیه اروپا است که از این خواست حمایت کنند. این عینی ترین شاخص رابطه آمریکا با مردم ایران و مقاومت سازمان یافته آن است.
The President spoke about her belief in an Iran which stressed human rights, particularly human rights for women, particularly human rights for all members of all religious faiths. We should be recognizing her as the President of Iran. The first thing we need is to make sure that 3,400 innocent civilians are protected in Ashraf. Prime Minister Maliki would not be Prime Minister of Iraq if it were not for the United States Army. But yesterday, Prime Minister Maliki spat in the face of the United States by adding more speakers to the psychological torture of the people in Ashraf. We owe it to 34 innocent civilians to make sure that they are protected when we pull our troops out at the end of this year. And Prime Minister Maliki should take notice that we put him there and we expect him to respect the human rights of others, including the Iranians at Camp Ashraf. The three things that we must do are: one, we must ask the State Department to do what every other nation on the face of the earth have done, which is to delist the MEK and recognize them as the legitimate opposition force, democratic opposition force in Iran. Two, we must not permit the government of Iraq, which we are responsible for, to oppress others, including the 3,400 people in Ashraf. We must take full responsibility for the protection of the people in Camp Ashraf. That is a United States responsibility. And 3, we must recognize a democratic provisional government. We do not recognize any government in Iran right now for good reason. I propose that we do recognize a government in Iran. You have just heard from the President.
As a free man, I take pride in the words, Ich bin ein Berliner.
Madam Rajavi, thank you for your leadership in our time. My uncle 50 years ago came to Berlin to utter the words, Ich bin ein Berliner. Today, I come back to a free and united Berlin, to this National Council of Resistance of Iran, and repeat his immortal words with just a small change. Man Irani Hastan. Man Ashrafi Hastan. I say yes, let's repeal the listing of MEK as a terrorist organization that only serves the current regime.
The people in Iran want freedom. You in this room want to support that freedom. The individuals in Camp Ashraf deserve to be protected. We in the United States made a promise to them when they voluntarily laid down their arms and went into the camp that they would be protected. I do not understand what 210, now 240 loudspeakers do in the form of protection. What is the positive reason for those speakers? I cannot think of one. The individuals who are in that camp deserve to be protected.
I believe that we owe the people in Camp Ashraf a protection that is guaranteed by international principle to protect the people, and the U.S. promised protection to them. And now we watch as the Iraqis increase the numbers of loudspeakers, shouting obscenities at women, up to 240. And I hope that today the Iraqi President notes that we note that he has allowed that to happen. It should not be allowed to stand. We owe the people in Camp Ashraf better than that.
Well, the regime in Iran is at least as brutal as Gaddafi's, if not more so. And for 3 decades it has been more systematically repressive. And even as it is more brutal and systematically repressive, it is subtle because it understands the significance of Ashraf. In fact, yesterday, after the United Nations passed its resolution, it added more loudspeakers outside Ashraf, so that now the total is 240. 240 loudspeakers blaring 24 hours a day to unnerve and harass people who are being subjected to harassment and brutality at the hands of Iranian agents, with the tacit approval and at times with the active encouragement of the Maliki government in Iraq. Removing the designation along with the Libya resolution, would provide a powerful basis for getting international protection for Ashraf.
Nicht die Machthaber in Teheran haben das Recht, für das iranische Volk zu sprechen, sondern diejenigen, die im Widerstand zu den Machthabern stehen, haben das alleinige Recht, für das iranische Volk zu sprechen. Ich kann Ihnen kein größeres Kompliment machen, als Ihre Lage mit dem Mann zu vergleichen, der wie kein anderer dafür steht, dass Frieden und Versöhnung in dieser Welt möglich sind, nämlich Nelson Mandela.
We are very proud of our Secretary of State. We're very delighted, by the way, that she took time to meet with the Libyan resistance movement just a few days ago. We would like her to delist this organization and meet with Madam Rajavi in the United States of America.
We all know that the people at Camp Ashraf are being harassed and psychologically intimidated daily. Just in the past few days, we've already heard and learned that the number of loudspeakers aimed at these poor people have increased. This situation will only get worse as the United States reduces its forces and prepares to leave Iraq at the end of this year. The time to help the suffering people at Camp Ashraf is now. The time to delist the MEK is now. Thank you very much.
Zu dieser Wahrheit gehört auch, das Grauen in der Öffentlichkeit zu halten über das furchtbare Lager in Ashraf. Und wir müssen alles tun, dass auch die Tortur, die da stattfindet, auf eine wirklich teuflische Weise mit den Lautsprechern, dass das aufhört.